asking price has been revealed for Hugo Ekitike, £63 million. That's what it took to get Marmoush out of there to Man City. And apparently they will be asking for something similar for the French striker. Now, for me, that's more realistic. That's about the same price as Gyökeres, if we're being honest. The 100 million price tag is just way too much for Man United. We can't get involved in that. We simply do not have the funds, especially for a 22-year-old. But even the 63 million pound price tag, 22 years of age, another project striker. Do you really want that? Is that what we're trying to do? But one thing I do know is that 100 million is an absolute no-go. 63 million, we can talk. We can talk. Let me know what you guys think. Should Man United trying to be going after this deal? Is that more realistic? Or should they cut ties with that? Look for somebody more experienced for 63 million pounds. Is there better value out there? Or 63 million euros, whichever it is. Is there better value out there than that for the striker? Or should we be locked in now? We've got a decent price. Welcome to the United View, people. Big up to each and every single one of you. Smash a like on the video. You guys know what it is. And make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've got loads to talk about. Napoli apparently in for Sancho as well. We already spoke about it a little bit yesterday, but a little bit more on Onana expected to stay and more outgoings as well and everything else in between. Owen, it's going to be a big morning. Hugo Ekitike, 63 million. I mean, euros, is it? Is it euros?
I think 63 million pounds. Maybe the suggestion could be, it's an interesting one. We've got quite a lot on Hugo Ekitike this morning. We've got quite a lot of Manchester United transfer stuff actually this morning. Like Flex said, Jadon Sancho maybe going to Napoli. They're linked with every single winger we've ever had. Andre Onana, he could be staying. We've got a bit of an update on Anthony and Real Betis attempts to sign him. How that's going to be difficult and complicated for them. A little bit of just sort of a karma on Bryan Mbeumo, another karma on Bryan Mbeumo. Don't worry too much. So a lot's been reported this morning. So let's get straight into it. Beginning, as Flex mentions, with Hugo Ekitike, seemingly the latest name being linked to Manchester United in that pursuit of a striker. Now, beginning with Paul Hurst from The Times, who is quoting this number, saying that Eintracht Frankfurt sold Umar Marmoush for £63 million and would ask for something similar for Hugo Ekitike this summer, which, of course, is quite a stark contrast from the 100 million euro price tag that was being thrown around, which we'll get to in a bit, which is around sort of 85 million pounds. It's the same number, of course, we paid for Anthony back in 2022. Now, Fabrizio Romano has spoken about this possibility of signing Ekitike and says Manchester United spoke to the agent of Hugo Ekitike in the last 3 days to be informed if the player has committed his future to any other club, discussing with Eintracht about the price, but he's still very expensive for United. I think that line's quite interesting to see if has he committed his future to any other club? Is there a bit of a Gyökeres situation there? Is there a bit of a Bryan Mbeumo situation there where it's nope, he's just interested in going to this club? Is it even worth basically starting this entire process? Now, Romano, when talking to Court Offside, says Ekitike is a player appreciated by the club, and also, as we spoke about previously, Christopher Vell, who knows the player well because he's worked in the Bundesliga with Hoffenheim and RB Leipzig, so he's always monitoring Bundesliga developments. Continues on with Darmesh F, as KG would said, saying, agreeing personal terms with Hugo Ekitike would not be a problem for United. The player is believed to be open to a move. United have held preliminary talks with Frankfurt to inquire about the terms of a deal, but there is no official offer on the table as of yet. And this morning, as I mentioned, The Athletic in their deal sheet, there's loads of Manchester United stuff to get into in their deal sheet this morning. There is loads. So a German journalist, Seb, I forget his full name. I'll get to it in a bit. What is his name actually? Because you always got to put respect on the name, don't you? You always put respect on the name. It is Seb Stafford Bloor, who is a German football correspondent for The Athletic, has said that Manchester United have inquired about the availability of Eintracht Frankfurt forward Hugo Ekitike. Ekitike is already of interest to Chelsea, but Manchester United have made contact with Frankfurt in recent weeks to try and understand the player's level of availability and what a potential transfer might cost. The Bundesliga club have so far maintained that Ekitike will not leave for less than their 100 million euro asking price, albeit they are, this is the key bit, willing to be flexible around the structure of the deal, which is maybe what Paul Hurst is referring to there when it comes to this, 63 million pounds is what Marmoush left for, and I suppose maybe you could buy him for a similar amount of 63 million pounds, and then we can have a discussion about add-ons, whether it's difficult ones or easy ones, but there's something there in this deal. It's not as if Man United aren't interested. They're definitely talking.
I just think this is exploratory. Whoa.
Exploratory.
But would you say exploratory? Would you say, is that how you say it naturally? Exploratory or exploratory? I can't remember. Exploratory. Exploratory. Is how I'd probably pronounce it, but
yeah. I mean, you've tried many different ways there, Fleck.
Yeah, exploratory. I think they're exploring a deal for him.
Yeah.
Like tongue twisters that you just don't expect. Like I feel like I say that word all the time.
There was one, I forget what it was. There was we did a show last year, and there was a phrase you just couldn't say. And there was in the middle of the tracks. I can't remember what it was.
Oh man. Someone in the chat, because you lot watch avidly, someone in the chat will remember what that was.
It was in one of the press conference ones, and you just couldn't say. I remember you just going, and you were like, I can't say that. I can't say that.
Yeah, exploratory. Wow. They're exploring a deal. We're exploring a deal, I think. From what I'm seeing there, that's picking up the phone, trying to see what a deal would look like. What I was gonna just draw attention to is one of the pieces that says that they're still adamant they're not going to sell him for less than €100 million price tag, which is like what, £85 million. We're confident, like we'll help you out with the structure, so installments, but it will total £85 million. So even that is like, Paul Hurst is saying it's more than 63 million. It's like we can actually get him for that. And obviously structure, but the structure from what Eintracht is saying is that it still must get to 85.
It was Field and an ineligible player. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Field and an ineligible player.
It was. I knew you lot are wicked, man.
Can you say that now?
They can't field an ineligible. Yeah, I can't. They can't field an illegible player. They cannot field an illegible. It's saying and ineligible, because I can say ineligible by itself. It's when you put
ineligible.
Ineligible. Yeah, I can say ineligible all day. But because it's about, what is it, AEIOU, you have to put an and before that. So I'm like, nah. And then I start saying a eligible player. It's a bad one. It's the reason why I've never gone back to even trying to say that phrase again. God help me if that comes up on any auto cue at Sky.
Oh God,
I'll change it. Any radio show where it's in the script.
You realise there any other way I could sort of say this without fielding a player that was not eligible, something like that.
That weren't allowed. Fielding a player that weren't allowed to play.
Yeah.
KG would be proud. Exactly. Jesus, you're taking a piss, Manes.
Ineligible exploratory. Yeah.
That'd be tough. I ain't even doing that. But big up, man. Thank you for Court staff for bringing that back. I knew someone would remember. That was a tough morning. It's a tough morning. But yeah, it is more concerning from that second piece of like, okay, £85 million roughly, 800 million euros. I don't care how you want to add it up. I don't care if you want it over 6 years. Like, it's still a lot of money to commit to for him. I don't think we should be going anywhere near that. If we're going to try to commit that over a period of time to anybody, not saying that Napoli will definitely accept, but you got more chance of being able to fulfill Osimhen. If you can secure that type of money over any period of time, and actually it's broken down with Napoli, kind of needs to get out of there. You probably get Osimhen for probably less than that or around that. But the wages is where it is. So again, like I said, when I tweeted the other day when this Ekitike stuff started to come out, do not spend massive amounts on him. The only massive amount I want to see is if it was like, tell you what, you can get Gyökeres again, it's back on, or you can get Osimhen. Other than that, all these alternatives, the price needs to come right down, which is hard because everyone knows we need a strikers market, a lot of young guys out there. All these clubs are trying to maximize their profit off of these types of players, Šeško, Ekitike, Gyökeres, etc. We're seeing it. But £63 million, better. A lot, though.
If it was all in, you know what I mean? That's
all
part,
in,
isn't it?
adorns. So it'd be like initial 48 rising to something, or 52 rising to 63, but even that, it's still the whole package. I don't know, it's a lot. It's still a lot for 22, man. This guy's 22. I know he looks better than Højlund and stuff like that. I like the look of him. I don't know about this 22-year-old big P's thing, man. That's why the Delap thing was like, I know some people say he's rubbish. He did all right, actually. Done okay. Got an assist yesterday.
Done okay.
Good little cameo. LAFC and that, but he did all right. But 30 M's, it's just like Chelsea are even still in the hat for Ekitike because it's like, we'll just get that.
And it was quick. It was easy to do.
It's easy. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have minded. But if it's a project player, that's what I'm going to say. If it's more project, price has to come down. Like, you don't spend 60, what we spent on Rasmus Højlund for somebody that raw. And you don't do it once and then do it again. That's just stupid. So I know Ekitike is scoring more and looking better than Højlund at this age, but still would be stupid to go and do that. Like Ridwan says there, Ekitike isn't worth more than Marmoush. Marmoush was their best player too.
He was really his numbers he was putting up was ridiculous. Yeah, exactly.
So, and he was like ready to it's like he's prime ready to go now to get him to City. He's ready to take the next. And look, since he come there, he's been doing really well as well. Marmoush, he's been good. So yeah, man, I'm concerned. I just don't want to enter into massive fees. But we're not. That's why we're ringing to see what a deal could look like.
Yeah, and it kind of goes against what we've done on what we are doing so far this summer anyway, right? I mean, you look at Matheus Cunha, 26 years old, in the prime, ready to go right now. Brian Mbeumo, he's going to be 26 in August, perfect in the prime or going into the prime, ready to go right now. And they're, looking to sign, obviously, Cunha was about 62 million, 62.5. They want Mbeumo to cost something similar to that, something pretty close to that. So then it would be a bit out of character, wouldn't it, suddenly to be like, right, we're going to sign a striker that's young for possibly €100 million, who doesn't have a huge amount of experience. I don't think he's played a game for the French senior team. I don't think yet. And if he has, it's very few. So then you're looking at that seems a bit odd. You've got these two, say, experienced, but people in their prime ready now. And then you're going to go, like you say, sign a striker that still very young and still got a lot to do. And actually, the reason we're going for a striker is because the last proper striker we signed, I'm not even including Xerxes because he's not a striker. But you look at Højlund. He was, like I said, it's a project striker that we massively overpaid for. Atalanta really saw us coming and took the piss out of us. So it would be very odd and not a good sign at all if we end up doing exactly the same thing again.
You've got to learn, man.
So that's where I sort of go. That's why I was quite, steadfast on when we were having to talk about Mbeumo on Friday on the Trinity. And, KG was like, just pay the money, give them what they want. And I was going, we need to look at how we always bemoan how bad these transfer windows are. We can't just then keep doing the same stuff over and over again because we get a bit worried every time it comes around. So like the Mbeumo stuff, Spurs are going to get him. Let's just give him £75 million and just give him 250 a week or 275 a week, because then we're not allowed to complain when Ops take the piss and say, well, they've only chosen Man United because you paid a load of money, because that's true, because that's what we're doing. In this case with the Ekitike one, if we end up spending €100 million on a striker that you said, 22, and it's sort of like, well, then if 6 months later, 9 months later, we're like, yeah, he's a bit raw. Well, yeah, because we did it again. Like we haven't learned our lesson there. So, it's one thing. I don't have a problem paying a premium on someone, like you said, maybe like an Aussie, when we go, look, nothing's a sure thing, nothing's guaranteed, but there's age there. There's experience there. You know what you're getting and you know what you're paying for most of the time. That's fine. But, the other way around on Ekitike, I feel like already we're maybe trying to do that thing where we start sort of convincing ourselves that actually this is a good idea. This is a good idea. Much money? Yeah, exactly. When we look at the comps, we do the comp, we go, no, this is good. If someone says the word Isak, because like you said, he's just got like a similar build. So we're getting Isak now. So, it's okay, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And I would be, like I said, from all of the deals that we have done this summer so far, it looks like we're going to do, and also last summer, this deal feels very out of character of how Ineos and that have moved in the market so far. So I don't know. But then at the same time, this is kind of what we were talking about last night on the red carpet, wasn't it? It does feel like the options are not limited, but in terms of the players that are being linked, the strikers that are being linked to all of these clubs, we go, well, it kind of feels like it is only 3 at the moment. It is only Ekitike, Osimhen,
Well, I was going to
Gyökeres.
say,
But there have to be others. There have to be
that's what I was
others,
going to
surely.
say. I honestly think, and I was thinking about this yesterday. You know, that in your downtime, and you just think about stuff. I was like, I don't think we're going to get any of these. I think it's going to be someone just enters the fray, that just comes in just from nowhere. It might not necessarily be an unknown player that we just haven't heard of. It could be, but more of just
maybe the Mateta thing's
player.
not dead.
Maybe that, or, you know, like Ollie Watkins, or just like something from just not specifically them two, but just, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Oh, Strand Larsen, last 10 days of just something where I'm like, we've spent all summer talking about A, B, C, D, and E, and we've got F. Like, I can just see it just being someone completely different. And I'm not saying that's a catastrophe.
They went for Wissa at the end. They actually did go for Mbeumo and Wissa. I mean, they did the Timon and Pumbaa.
Exactly. They've done the Timon and Pumbaa, something like that. I just feel like I would
be against that, by the way. If they went, we're going to go try and get you a Wissa, I'd be like, give it a go.
Yeah, exactly. Give it a go. I just got a feeling that, like, these big boy prices that have been quoted for this, I just think it's just beyond us. I don't know how we afford that. And it was interesting on the red carpet yesterday, because people are right to keep talking about outgoings and when is it going to happen and how much are we going to spend. So I think that, coupled in with what I was going to bring in as well, with a piece that Samuel Luckhurst did about United's priority signing is often one of the last through the door as well. They've done a piece on that. I'll talk about that in a bit more. It kind of brings it into this. This is I'm just going to warn people, in my opinion. If I'm wrong, great. Then I can say, bloody hell, didn't expect that. We got that wrapped up quickly. I think this striker thing is going to go through the whole summer. I do. Even to the point where we get back from tour, he's not here yet. What's going on? Why is this? Just brace yourself for that, guys. And listen, you may already be angry at that from now, to say, well, if that happens, they're just incompetent. I knew it. We can't do this and we can't do that. That's up to you. Fair play. I get that, because we know we've needed one for a while. There should be no excuses. But I don't know. Looking at the ones that are available, look how difficult the deals are to do and the money that's involved. So already that puts us on the back foot with how quickly we could do it. And also, none of them are moving. Not like KG did say, I just want someone to move so that something, it's not like Arsenal have just wrapped up Sesko. It's not like someone's just come and got Isak. It's not like Gyökeres has already gone and there's only Ekitike left. And it's like, quick, get him, because it's like there's big fees. The foreign clubs, the European clubs are like, people are coming for our players. The Premier League wants them, or big teams want them. We're charging premium. We ain't selling on the cheap. We're getting our price for what these players are, and more, and some. We're playing hardball. So I just think that puts us on the back foot because we don't have the money like we wanted to. But for me, I don't mind that, as long as, like Dev was to say, like, we have to be working on other deals, though. That's what I'm scared of. I'm scared that we're going to get stuck.
One at a time, like we did before. Remember a couple of seasons ago, it was like, we're doing Mount now. Once we've done Mount, we'll do the Onana deal. Once we've done Onana, then we'll do Højlund deal. And you know what I mean? When it's one at a time.
That worries me. That worries me. It's not so much, I don't mind if a striker comes in late. I don't mind if we end up with the right one, or a striker in the end, by the time the window shuts. I know, like, first 2 games, it's not ideal. Where is he? Should have been a preseason. I 100% share that sentiment. But because I just want us to get this so right, I want us to, like, I'm fed up of getting this wrong. I'm almost like, and I feel silly saying it, I'm almost like, take the time you need, just come to the right decision, please, and work on the other deals. But I know I'm probably asking for too much, if I'm honest.
But also, I do think there is an element of, we have to remember that it is still, the 17th of June. These players, the ones that aren't at the Club World Cup, they've only just gone on their holiday now. They've only just finished their season, right? With the international stuff just finishing. So I think maybe because of that Club World Cup and the window opening earlier than usual and then shutting again, and because in that initial first couple of weeks of the window being open, there was the flurry of quick deals, because people wanted to get deals done for the Club World Cup. that's maybe given a bit of a false expectation for how quickly this window is going to move, because usually United do a lot of their business in July, and that's not to say that that's always benefited us, but just historically, them and a lot of clubs have done their business in July, because that's when really, new financial year, pre-season really kicks in, etc. So that's when it happens. So I think maybe, because KG said it last night when he came onto the red carpet, didn't he? Because I just want something to happen. I want a domino to fall. I want something to happen.
Yeah. Which I kind of see
and it's
why.
Just maybe, I get that, and especially for us, because we're like, there's so much we need to do. There's so much that needs to happen. So many players need to be moved on, and so many players need to get brought in. So there is this urgency of like, got to do it. But and then factor in this transfer window being a bit different, because there was this speed for a lot of clubs to get stuff done for these competitions. Now we're back into kind of the normal pace of things, which historically in June isn't always exactly rapid. And as we've seen as well, we have to learn this lesson. Just because we don't hear stuff or read about stuff in the media, it doesn't mean it's not happening. That's the other part of it as well.
Yeah.
How many times have, I know with United, it's very drawn out a lot of the times, but we did see this last season whereby suddenly, Ornstein, Romano dropped something and like, oh, it's happening. And next thing you know, 2 or 3 days later, you're getting a here we go. It happens that quick.
Yeah. Things can happen really quickly, definitely. That's
really
why
fast.
I'm not going to be naive. I'm calm-ish now because it's so early in the window. I do agree with that. Obviously, we know the track record of the club and how important the position is and how much we've bodged it over the years. So you don't feel completely calm that it's early. I get that. But if I'm honest, and I don't know if it's because we've had years of doing content and following the window, we kind of know, things happen late. You don't expect it. It always happens. I'm almost doing it out of not building myself up to be like, right, we're going on tour on the 23rd of July, 24th of July. First game's on the 27th. Oh, I just know, just get the striker in by then. He probably ain't going to be here by then, guys. Let's just don't set yourself up for it. Just, what I mean? And I've seen a few people in the chat saying, disagree. We need him in early. We need players in early to bed in. Listen, that's always the first option, 100%. Oh, my God. I hope we get all 5 signings in by the time we get on that plane to America. That's what would be perfect. And, the pressure on them should be there to try and deliver that. We've been saying, haven't we? We want 3. We want 3 before we go there. And Brumo's just ticking along, and it's like, come on, let's go. Let's get that. If you get him and Cunha on the plane, and the striker would be perfect. But I just think it's going to be them 2 guys. I'll be honest. I think Mbumo and Cunha will be there, in my opinion. But I don't know. Me personally, it's just such a problem area. I just don't want him to F it up, man, by rushing or putting too much money down, or, obviously we're going to put pressure on, and rightly so. I'm just more wrapped up with them coming to the right decision. We've wasted so much money. I think we're forgetting sometimes how shit this year has been. Like, the money, the cutbacks, and not most importantly, because people losing their jobs is probably most important. It's not been great, but in football terms, as Ty would say, like the recruitment side of things, like forget Amorim, forget the points now and all of that. Forget all of that. It's about recruitment. We have to fix recruitment. And I'd rather us be diligent and take our time and get the right players for the right price than like just be fixated on just get them through the door. We finished 15th, because it just leads to more problems.
Well, and also this is why, kind of what Devon, the others were saying last night on the red carpet. This is why these outgoings are critical, aren't they? And this is going back to learn the lesson. When we earmark these players and we go, right, Rashford's going in the summer, Sancho's going in the summer, Garnacho's going in the summer, Antony's going in the summer. Sometimes it's not as simple as that, is it? Because people have their own agendas, and people have, where they want to go, and money, and
they're not rushing to leave, are they, these players?
We're still dealing with the sins of the past, of the contracts that we put these guys on, etc. And they're critical. If we sold all of those 4 players that I mentioned there, Rashford, and let's say we sold them for 40 million, and Garnacho 50, 60 million, and Sancho ends up going for 25 million, and Anthony, we get like, I don't know, 25, 30, 40 million.
There's your war kitty. Then we can.
That is the war kitty. But as of today, and again, there's still a lot of time to go in this window, but as of today, none of them are guaranteed to be all permanent exits if leaving, you know. Obviously, we know that Rashford, he wants Barcelona, but Barcelona, they're being linked to Nico Williams this morning, and they're even saying about him, well, they can't actually afford it. They can't actually afford to get Williams. So if they can't afford to get him, how is that Rashford one even going to happen in addition or even without that one? I don't know. Exactly. What levers have they got? What stuff that doesn't exist have they got to sell?
If Williams goes there, there's no way Rashford can go there too.
And then someone, you would hope, again, people around Rashford have a word going, that Barca thing, it ain't really happening, mate. And guess what? You've got a World Cup next season. You just started to get back into the squad with Thomas Tuchel and all that. But if you don't know where you're going to be next season, that World Cup might not be happening. So you got to figure out what you want to do. Sancho, I wouldn't even think about the World Cup really when it comes to him. But you would say you just got to figure out where you're going because you've been directionless for like 3 or 4 years now, and obviously United have been complicit in that. But so have you. You got to figure out where you want to go. Anthony, you might want to go back to Real Betis, but they're not really going to be able to afford you. So do you want to stay and fight for your place, even though you know the manager's not having you? Garnacho, you got cussed out in front of the whole squad by the manager. He's laughing in press conferences at the idea of you staying, but you want to stay in the Premier League. The options might be a bit limited when it comes to that. So where are you going to go? Which is kind of what James was saying last night with actually that might be a bit of an expensive move for some people to pull off. So how is that one going to work? And then, so that's those people that we've earmarked as like, oh, they're going to be going. Their story's only really just begun this summer, I think. It's not even sometimes even started yet. So that is, and inevitably, as much as we don't want this to be the case, but inevitably, that's going to slow United down. That's 100%. Going to slow United down. And that is when we said, this is when you've got to be ruthless, be the bastard, you know, but say to them, hey, mate, we're not even registering you. You're not even covering on the
That's where Marcel is right. And actually, normally, to a certain extent, I see the principle of what he was saying. It's not crazy what he was saying. Normally, right, think about last year. Think about when Sancho came back, right? And he was on tour. He was doing MUTV with Sam, innit, in UCLA. Yeah. I like the weather. It's really good being in America. See the fans. This is with him coming back from Dortmund for a whole year, innit? That was whole season. Or was it half season?
Half season.
That was half season January, again. Oh, yeah. So he's had 2 halves, not even a full loan out anywhere. Like you said, when you said saying Sancho's been directionless for like 3 years, so true. Like Man United's not worked out in and out squad, then time away, then came back, then tried to get in the team, then fell out of Eric.
Yeah, and then had a whole
exited
3 or 4 months with exile, and then
January Dortmund, final of the Champions League, came back. Yeah. Then he's with Sam on MUTV saying this, that, and the third. Stays. Yeah, stays. Didn't get him.
He went at the end of the summer window. He went at the end of the summer window.
Oh, yeah, Chelsea was season. Oh, yes, it's season long. Sorry, Chelsea was season long. Sorry. Season long at Chelsea. Doesn't agree a pay cut from a player perspective. I get that. Our fault. But doesn't fall into their wage structure. Now he's back. But anyway, when I go back to that, obviously it was the beginning of Ineos trying to stabilize on that. I had my like football business head on, which is like, you got a depreciating asset, like what Alice was trying to say yesterday. Not trying to, she was saying that if you make these things public, i.e., he's at home, he didn't train, you've got Dortmund or Chelsea, whoever you're trying to sell him to, going, well, he's not training, he's training by himself. You don't want him, you need him out as quickly as possible, and he doesn't want to be there. All the 3 things that go against you, so the price just comes down, etc., etc. That was last year. I'll be honest, I think now, we are now into the territory of the damage is so bad and all of it's so public. I'm more moving the needle onto Marcel's side of like, going to have to get ruthless. I know like 25 million for Rashford sounds like crazy. And you have to get a balance because you can't just say, look, we just need Garnacho gone. 15 million, whoever, just whatever. Just get, I'm not saying be stupid, but case by case, you've got to start doing it because, like I said, the Arsenal thing is a good example. Sometimes you've got to just cut the cord, cut the tie in order to free yourself of the problem. It's a big hit. Almost whatever we get for Rashford is profit. Not almost. Whatever we get for Rashford is obviously profit. Obviously, you don't want it to be 15 million. You don't want it to be 18 million. You want it to reflect, what he's done, his appearances, the name, the brand, etc., etc. Can sell shirts where he goes, all of that. But I don't know, man. I think we do need to start getting a bit ruthless. Like you say, start saying to players, you're not on the America tour. No. You're not part of Ruben's plans. Ruben's, what's the point? Yes, it does show the other clubs, oh, you really want to get rid of him. We're going to try lowball you with an offer. But maybe that's just what has to happen to, again, one, show the players and the agents. And I think this year, you're right, with World Cup year, maybe not so much, a lot of them won't sit there. I don't think Rashford will come back to United to sit and train with the reserves the whole way. He won't do that. He won't.
Or take the gamble on. I'll wait for an opportunity to come up. That's a gamble. Of all years, exactly. That's a massive.
And Garnacho
gamble.
won't do that as well. I think Garnacho's ego and trying to be Ronaldo and Messi and I'm the best, which is good for a young player to have, but we've seen the downside of it. But I'm not knocking that. But I just think I don't think he would sit on his money being like, I'm on such a great contract. Fine, then I'll just train with the reserves. No, he will find a move. He tell his agent, I'm not sitting there. I need to go and play. Like I said, Argentina squad, World Cup, he ain't going.
Yeah, look at the clubs in their Club World Cup. Grealish not named in the City squad. A bunch of Chelsea players not named in the Chelsea squad. Sterling, etc., not named in the squads. Why? Getting rid of them. They're just not involved in them. You're not traveling out with us. Why? Because we have no intention of playing.
Raheem Sterling ain't in the Club World Cup, is he? Come back from Arsenal. Come train, mate. You're part of the squad. No, you're not part of anything, mate.
Grealish is doing runs out at night, going doing, runs around, going keep it in shape and stuff like that. No,
there you go.
Not even involved, mate. Not taking you out. So that's what you need to do.
And I agree. We have to do that. Let's get super chats out. Aminor says, is that the first one? Yeah. Owen, is the Ekitike guy just another Rasmus in disguise? I just want a proven Premier League striker, e.g. Tony. Also, Flex, please cook Don Robbie if we get Gyökeres. If we do, I'm not in a position to do it now because the latest reports is that he's given... Mate, the latest reports is that it was sloppy seconds if we get Gyökeres because he's clearly got priority to go there. But sloppy seconds, I shall take. And shamelessly tell them, hold that, even though it would have been them deciding not to get him and get Sesko instead.
Yeah. But the narrative's been formed, hasn't it?
The narrative has been formed. Don't you worry about that, Aminor. I don't need any excuse to run narratives on DR. That's just what we do. Kristen says, happy 3-year anniversary of being a member of UV.
3 years.
That's crazy. 3 years, man. Wow. Happy anniversary to you, man. Big up to you, Kristen, one of the originals. I wouldn't mind signing Ekitike, but we need an experienced striker alongside him to challenge him. Yeah, that's where we get the money for an experienced striker as well. Show says that we have an elite structure. No need to panic. I think you're being...
Show loves the sarcastic super.
Yeah. Sarcastic chat, sarcastic super chat. Yeah. Just every interaction, Victor Lindelof should re-sign again. Confirmed. That shows the king. He's the king of that. I don't think I've ever seen him speak not sarcastically.
Oh, the full Tabio call it, it'll be normal on that. But if it's in written form, sarcasm. It's all sarcasm
only. Sarcasm City. Aminor Rashid says, Owen, I would take Lukaku or Regalo back, not gonna lie.
Bloody hell.
Would you do that, Owen? Would you do that right now?
Not a
Lukaku right now?
Lukaku.
At
the moment. Thing is, Lukaku does get a lot of shit, doesn't he? But he does score goals. He always scores. He's just problem is he just can't, stay at one club, can he? You know what I mean? This guy
he just keeps it moving. I respect it.
Went back to Chelsea for like 90 million. Like 6 months later, he's like, I shouldn't have left Milan. Goes back to Inter Milan, and then he's like, I want to go to Roma. He just pisses him off. Like I don't know what his issue is.
Look at Lukaku, mate. 14 goals, 10 assists. 14 goals, 10 assists, won the league.
The clubs he's played for in Italy is ridiculous at this point. Like every top club. It's mad. And
he wins as well. He's only 32. 4 years older than that. Feels like he's been around forever.
But he does miss a ton of chances, doesn't he? Oh my God.
Yeah. Goal participation 43%. Yeah. Starting 11, 97% of the time, mate. Scoring goals. Owen. That's what Lukaku does. Scores goals.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have
whole season.
Surely he's got to have like the record at this point for the most cumulative money spent on a player. Because at one point it was Nicolas Anelka had the record, didn't he? Yeah. Surely it's got to be Lukaku at this point.
Morata's got to be up there, isn't it?
Morata, maybe. Like, because it's just been everywhere.
Yeah, he's been so much. He's been so many places.
He's done like 70, 90 million pound transfers like at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, so to us he was like 75. Then we sold him for like 70.
75. It was like 75. We wanted to get our money back.
Then he got 90 at Chelsea.
And even
when
that
he
alone
first went to
ridiculous.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then in between, when he's gone to all the different Italian clubs, must be a 40 a pop each time, surely. For that,
how much money spent on Lukaku?
It's got to be peas, man. Got to be peas.
So even when Napoli signed him from Chelsea, that was 30 million. This was in August. The Belgium international for 30 million. Lukaku's career transfer fees. I'm just seeing something like that. His career transfer fees hit 374 million euro.
Right. Imagine how much signing on fees he's got. He's got bread, mate.
Oh
he has got
God.
Bread.
His agent. The only person who's accumulated more. Anyone want to guess for that? Anyone? Lukaku's number 2.
Is it Neymar?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he
and that's
from Santos to Barca because that was like 100 and something, isn't it?
I don't know how much I don't know how much the basketball, but obviously the PSG one was like 220 million pounds or something ridiculous. Crazy, and then even when he went to Saudi, that was still like 90, wasn't it? Still like a lot of money.
It's a lot, yeah. It's a lot. I thought as soon as you said he's second, I thought it's got to be Neymar.
But Lukaku being second, and he's had 9 transfers. 9 transfers. You mentioned Morata, he's 5th. He's had 7 transfers, totaling 202 million euro. People above him, Dembele, 220 million euro, mainly because of that Barca move. That Barca was ridiculous price from.
Where's Ronaldo?
Third.
Yeah, I was going to say Ronaldo must be up there.
4 transfers, totaling 247 million euro. Yes.
How much did we pay for Ronaldo the second time? Was it like 40 million?
It wasn't loads, was it? Yeah, it was around like 40 million, something like that. Ronaldo United transfer fee 2021. 12.85 million, excuse me.
Is that all we paid?
Yeah.
That was actually a bargain when you think about it.
Big wages, yeah. Big wages.
Scored 18 goals in his first season.
Yeah.
When I actually look back, I saw someone put a comp up of like that first season back. That first game I was there, man, against Newcastle. Bro, I tell you, the sun was shining. Like he scored twice. It's just such a good feeling. Unveiled Varane.
You can go back.
Oh,
you can go back and
so good, man.
Watch the fan views. They're still up on the channel. Of the KG, he was at that game. He says we're going to win the league, Champions League. Mbappe, who? He walks off. His condom hat is barely on his head. It's rolled up that high. It's up to like here.
Oh man, there's been some real false dawns that are not even false dawns. We just stupidly, like obviously when we smash Leeds, Bruno hat trick, Pogba 4 assists, just mashing them up. And I'm looking at this free flowing. Look at this. Oh, man. Anyway, let's get back to the super chats. Too depressing.
Yeah.
We have elite structure. We'll take the card. That's how we got to. Dwayne says, I hear you, but let's go 45 plus 5 Frankfurt. I hear you with the 63 million. I hear you that you're not going to let him go for 100 million less than that. But let's just go 45 plus 5. Tony Martial says, Isak went for exactly the same fee to Newcastle with a similar age and similar play start. Look how this went. He did. And actually, Isak's a good... Obviously, you can't, say everything like that. But he went for like, 60-odd million, I want to say. 61, 62 million from Sociedad at the time. And he hadn't scored loads. He wasn't a prolific goal scorer. So it does happen. £63
million. Yes.
Yeah, 63. So I remember that. When was that? 21, 22? He's been here about 3 years now, isn't it?
22, August 2022.
22. So, it can happen. Like you're paying for a promising young talent who looks the part. And, look how what Isak's gone on to do. No one talks about the price tag. People say, wow, good scouting by Newcastle. They were the ones who actually stuck their neck out and said, we'll pay quite a lot for this kid, which it was at the time. Yeah. Oh, it's big money. But Arsenal wanted him. But we'll pay it. And look, now he's one of the most sought after strikers in Europe. Amanor says Wilcox and Barada out if we don't get a striker and goalkeeper. Amanor also says Greenwood back. Owen, please hit you effing you reckless button.
Reckless.
And Brian says the last dance, Chicharito. God, is he still playing?
That would
still
be
playing
right,
like Mexico somewhere.
I
think he might be in it because he left LA Galaxy. I think didn't he? Where's Chicharito now? I'm sure he's in Mexico somewhere.
He's 37 years old and he plays for Guadalajara, his hometown club in Mexico.
Yeah. 37 and still looks exactly the same, probably. Like he's just got
he does look a bit different. He's bold. You know, he's bold. It looks a little bit different. 37.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It really does look like a little P. You know what I mean? Now, really, just round head, bold. This is, you know, because you always picture, you know, Javier Hernandez as sort of, again, little P, like you said, ageless. Doesn't, you know, always looks the same.
Yeah.
Where did I save this? Because he does look actually quite old.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, time waits for no man.
This picture that I've got of him actually does actually him kind of no favors. In fairness, it's probably not the best one.
Oh, don't show him in a bad light.
No, he just looks old. You know what I mean? But he's
no, that's not real.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It does look old. Oh no, I don't want to remember him. Like, no, get that off. I'll
go back to that one.
Yeah.
Jonathan Fleckman.
Flexman. Shout out Chicharito though. Wow, he does. Yeah, he did look old, didn't it? But listen, man, I'm not really one for like, oh my god, they look old. Listen, time waits for no man.
You know, of course.
Time waits for no man. And Sean Evans says, don't see Rashford joining Barca if they sign Nico Williams, 100%. I think we will struggle to sell players. Should we sign Jonathan David? I just think we always say him because he's just available and free. It's just like, get him in.
Yeah.
Don't know about playing style or how could, like, just get him. He's free. And obviously he's been linked for ages for a move, isn't it, from Lille. Neil says, keeping Onana will be the worst decision this window. Moving him on or relegating him to number 2 should be a priority. Onana will cost us points. And Shahil says, big up everyone at UV, 36 months as well. I've seen the reports. Big up, man. Big support, that is. Thank you so much. I've seen the reports of Onana staying. Owen, press the button. Red flag. Surely you are concerned because I am.
Red flag.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about that shortly. And Ivor says, I'm missing Saeed on the red carpet. Where is he? He's busy. Got other stuff to do. So Saeed he just didn't want to be on that show anymore. He wants to do other stuff, man. So he's doing his thing, man. He's doing his thing. Right. Next up, actually, housekeeping.
Yes.
411 likes. We've got just under 2K watching live. Let's get to the 750 people. There's over 1,900 watching now. Actually, we just mentioned that. So get sharing. Let's get back to 2K watching. Please do. Let's like up the thing. We're on 416, so 750 is easily doable. And just a quick one, guys. I haven't even managed to tell you this yet. It says Flex and KG there tonight, 7 p.m. It's not tonight at 7 p.m. Oh, wow. It's not an Owen thing. This is a me thing. Not a me thing, but KG called me last night. Good communication, just to sort some stuff out. It's going to be Wednesday at 7 p.m. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
Right.
So, big up to everyone expecting the Flex and KG show tonight. It won't be tonight. It will be tomorrow. Tomorrow night. At 7 p.m. And this evening will probably be some form of Flex's view with whatever the latest transfer news is, because I'm sure there will be something. Keep an eye out for that. And Football Flex as well, that just came up. Make sure you smash a like on the videos over there. And drop a subscribe. In fact, we're nearly at 15K.
Yes, very close. I want to say,
need to put a little banner out for that. I need to put a little thank you. 15K through the door.
Yeah.
We're at 14K 883. So if you haven't dropped a subscribe button on the Football Flex as well, please do that. Show channel some love. Right, Owen, Napoli. We're speaking about outgoings.
Yes,
from Garnacho to Sancho.
Possibly. From Gianluca Di Marzio, remember him back in the day? Original transfer guru is saying Napoli are making an attempt, to sign Jadon Sancho. That's it. So I don't know how. So, I mean, when the details are details are kind of that sort of lax, you do have to.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Well, transfer prices involved. Transfer don't have that.
Red flag.
No, any initial contact made or
no?
Red flag.
No, they're just trying. They're trying.
Okay. Any exploratory talks?
Nope.
Red flag.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. Cool.
But maybe they
well,
can't
no,
afford his
yeah.
wages. They just signed Kevin De Bruyne. You know,
Yeah.
that's big wages. You know, so
From
they
Kvaratskhelia to Sancho. Why not?
Red flag.
That is.
I mean, that's what it'd be, isn't it?
Can you imagine Antonio Conte telling Jadon Sancho, "You've got to really work
run.
for the team. You've got to run. Got to put the work in."
I cannot see that. I've got McTominay running around like a blue ass fly.
Did you see him on an open top bus parade as well? He's lighting up cigarettes. Put him lighting them up that way as well. One in each hand.
What a guy! What a guy! I miss him, man. I'm not gonna lie. I do. Like, I'm not obviously. Nah, this is the problem, United fans. Or obviously not. I don't miss him in a pivot with Fred playing too deep, where that's not his position. But he just shows
goals,
like.
mate.
It just shows like if you play him in the right position, if he can do that for Napoli, why couldn't he do that for Man United then as a 10? Why not?
Yeah.
Of course he can.
Yeah. We genuinely we did miss his goals this season.
Yeah.
We sold him and did not replace his goals. Yeah. We didn't.
Honestly, yeah, exactly.
Which is crazy. And look, they've got a Scottish midfield. They got him and Billy Gilmore went there and won Serie A. They won Scudetto. Fair play.
That's crazy,
so
that's brilliant.
So yeah, with
Sancho, and he's like a god in Naples now. That's what's crazy about
yeah,
McTominay.
That's
like murals
yeah,
and that.
Yeah, because of course they don't have like a huge history of winning Scudettos over and over and over again. You know, like he's in the rarefied era of Maradona in that city. John Madness.
Now, shout out Scott. And you know what? That is one we got wrong. I have to say that the club, like we all said, no, you're not. But they got it wrong in terms of the misprofiling of him because he said himself, "I never really got to play in my position." You can see what, and we saw it in his last season. Actually, we saw it with where he's coming off the bench and playing as a second striker. He's getting loads of goals. So that should have been a warning to everyone at the club to say, "Why are you playing Scott as a deep line defensive midfielder?" And he just gave it his all. Top pro, tried, didn't he? Had some good games here and there.
We'll put down Serie A though, because like I said, just to not be wrong, we'll be like, yeah, it's Serie A.
Forget that, man.
Won the league.
Won the league. And he's MVP, bro.
Genuinely, if he didn't used to play for United and he wasn't Scott McTominay, right?
Yes.
And we were linked to to a midfielder that just won Serie A and just won Player of the Year in Serie A, we'd be like, bring him in. Bring 100%. Him in. We'd be like, we need a midfielder. Bring him in. It scores goals. Bring him in.
People like Kvaratskhelia and stuff, or like, are like,
because we know him.
That's what I'm saying. He's like candidate for like Player of the Year in the league. It would be, you know what I mean? Rafael Leao or something like that could be like Player of the Year, or one of the attacking players, Lautaro Martinez or something could be like a Player of the Year candidate in that field. It's Scott McTominay. Reinders, was the best like midfielder. Fair play, like he's better than McTominay technically, all of that. But in terms of impact and getting it done, Scott McTominay has just won,
scoring goals in important games, big games.
Yeah, exactly. And shout out Reinders. I'm not saying he's not. He's a really good player. Reinders, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I say looking forward to seeing him at City. Not looking forward to, but from my neutral standpoint, he's wicked. But yeah, McTominay won MVP of the whole league, bro. You can't chat to him. No, I don't care. No one can say nothing about him right now. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But I think I can't see that happening. Dwayne says the Italians call him McFratima, second to Maradona. Jeez, wow, crazy. The revisionism smells. We always do this. Just be happy they found their level. Not good enough for where we want to be.
We're 15th.
That's not.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what? And this, I was good. I'm glad you highlighted that comment, Flex, because I saw that in the chat. Go revisionism. No. What we do here is we shout revisionism because we don't want to feel bad. Because we don't want to feel bad. That's why we shout it. That's really why we shout, because we go, he's rubbish here. Well, why? Why was he?
That's not the level we want, mate. Napoli are better than us. If we played Napoli,
they won the league.
What are you talking about?
They won the league. They over the course of a season were better than Inter Milan, who got to a Champions League final. They're good. So clearly, you don't fluke winning the league. You know what I mean? No. You don't. And Scagliano's right. We play Napoli now they would beat her. They would beat us,
Yeah.
and McTominay would probably score. And
Yeah.
if I
Get
this
one up on.
revisionism stuff, the revisionism stuff goes back to, actually, let's have a real conversation about his tenure at Manchester United. People didn't like him when he was played as a defensive midfielder partnership with Fred, because guess what? He ain't a defensive midfielder. He's not. He's rubbish on the ball. Or even if he plays in the middle of midfield, he's rubbish on the ball. But as we saw, Erik ten Hag figured it out. You play him further up the pitch, he scored goals. And some of the agendas were so bad on Scott McTominay when he was here, is that when he did score, people still slagged him off by going, what does he offer, though, apart from goals? We always do apart from. What does he do apart from score goals? what does he do? You know, and as we've seen, it's not about moving the player on, which is the issue. It's who do you replace him with?
Yeah. And we literally went from McTominay to Ugarte.
To Ugarte, who, by the way, was never going to score goals because he doesn't score goals, not to the level that McTominay does. And we're like, then suddenly we're judging Ugarte on scoring goals. But apparently we weren't allowed to judge McTominay on scoring goals. It's ridiculous. So we just scream, we go, it's revisionism. He's doing very well at Napoli because he wasn't bad. It's the same thing like we said with Garnacho. Right now, there is this weird thing with, because Garnacho is leaving, Garnacho's shit. Garnacho's rubbish. He's never going to make it, and he's never going to do anything good anywhere else. And then when he does, you go, we said he's going to do that. That will be revisionism too. You know, revisionism. Of course, they've got something about them. All of them do. That's why they're at United. They've got something about them. But we as a club, as you know, our environment, the way we're set up, whatever, it just fail a lot of players. And also it's on them. You know, the Garnacho thing, it's on him. Same way it's Rashford's on him, Sancho's on him. But Garnacho, wherever he goes, he'll do fine. That's not glazing, is it? You know,
no. Apparently it is. Apparently it is.
It's not glazing.
But McTominay getting flipping MVP, and then we used to play this guy defensive mid. Yeah, he's not good enough for United. What do you mean? You played him in the wrong position.
And also, why is it a shock that in the season before he left Man United, he scored quite a few goals, important goals.
From the bench.
Why are we then shocked that he continues to score goals for Napoli, and when he plays every single week in a position which is best for him, it gets best out of him.
I think people are trying to twist maybe what you say. Like, it's not every single player we're saying we should bring back. Because International says, why isn't there this level of revisionism for others? I think when somebody leaves your club and goes to get the best player in one of Europe's top 5 leagues and does what he did and wins the league and gets MVP, you have to say, well, you have to look at yourself, mate.
We must have done something wrong.
Yeah, and what we did wrong was, it's not rocket science. What we did wrong was play him in the wrong position. That's it.
Wrong position.
If McTominay was one of our 10, if McTominay was one of our 10s, would we have scored more goals this year in this system?
Well, he would have scored goals because he was doing that even when he was coming on as a bit part player. Of course he would. He was scoring goals.
Like Makish says there, someone misprofiled him. McTominay did an interview himself with The Athletic, saying, I never got to play in my actual position at Man United. Never.
And to his credit, Erik ten Hag was on the record going he didn't want to sell him. He's like,
he didn't. Yeah, he
didn't want to.
PSR, exactly. Dwayne says the only player to have a club award made for him. McTominay.
Oh, that was when the Jose was the manager's player of the year thing, wasn't it? And it didn't exist. And then apparently they just grabbed like a vase or something and was like, this is manager's player of the year, Scott McTominay.
Oh, good. Okay. Probably a bit too far now, but yeah. The Onana expected to stay, Owen. I mean, James has already spoken about that.
Red flag.
You wasn't happy the other day.
Happy.
Yeah.
The Athletic this morning saying Andre Onana's representatives held a meeting with Old Trafford figures last week, and the goalkeeper is expected to stay this summer, or the United could still enter the market at his position to sign a backup who can provide him with competition. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Andre Onana is staying as well. That's what it is. There you go, guys. Massive show. Big up to each and every single one of you. I'll be back later on with a Flex's view. Let you guys know what's going on. Hopefully, there's a bit more stuff going on. I might talk about outgoings, actually. I need to get some feelings out about how I feel about that. But we go from there. Smash a like, everyone. Thank you for watching. We've read all the super chats. We will see you later on today. Take care, guys. And anything else in between as well. If there's any breaking news, take care. Peace.